Live from New York, it's Ask This Engineer.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Ask an Engineer. It's me, Lady Ada, and I'm here at the Adafruit factory. This is where we do all of our engineering and design and manufacture and shipping and testing and all that good, delicious stuff that lets you build cool, creative electronic projects. And with me is Mr. Lady Ada.
Hello. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. We
Yeah.
do the show every single week at 8 p.m. on Wednesdays, and it's a good time. We have an exciting show for you
Yeah, we're
tonight.
back. We had guests for like multiple weeks in a row, but now it's back to business.
And people sort of noticed, like, we were a little, like, things were happening, but it was a little bit like there's events and visitors.
There was Maker Faire and visitors.
That's crazy.
We had Gotenna. We had a lot of stuff going on.
We're going to get back into the groove. We're going to start getting back into the Lady Ada, Adafruit, and PT that you know and love.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then, well, you're going to still get used to it.
Well, you can tune into the other electronic show.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's one, but...
Okay, well, what's on tonight's show tonight?
On tonight's show, the code is Infinity Shred. That was part of the music that we started to play in the beginning. We'll show and share more of that. Adafruit's second, I'd say album assist.
Yes.
We have people here who are very talented who do music. Infinity Shred, more about that soon. But you get 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Including
except for,
on albums.
Yeah, except for software and for gift certificates and for AidBox subscriptions. Show and tell, people around the world showing and sharing their projects. Lady Ada will talk about those. Packed Mailbag's back. Hey, back, read letters. Time travel. Look back in the world of hackers, makers, artists, engineers, and ongoing events. Lots of events going on. 3D printing, catching up with a bunch of videos this week. New products. We'll answer your question. We'll have a trivia question, all that and more on, you guessed it, Ask an Engineer. Okay.
We'll even have new.
Yeah, we have new products this week.
Yay.
We have some news. We got a bunch of stuff.
I know you guys all missed new product last week.
Back in the groove. Okay. So a little bit of a reminder, we are supported 100% by y'all out there, so pick up some electronics. You get 10% off. That's how we do this. And that goes on until 11:59 p.m. We have the free shipping thing going on, so $200 or more in the continental U.S., you get free UPS ground. If you're in Manhattan, there is many zip codes that has same-day delivery if you check out before 11 a.m. And a little bit of a programming note, don't forget, every week, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, show and tell, and 8 p.m. Wednesdays, this is Ask an Engineer. This is it right now. So, Lady Ada, focus on the show and tell. They showed and shared. We had a full house.
We did.
Yeah, lots of cool projects. And it's approaching Halloween, so there's even more. Anyone who's working on your project, come on every Wednesday and show it off. Mm-hmm. It's all, as someone noticed, it's kind of Halloween here all the time.
It's always Halloween.
So what was on the show and tell this week?
Well, we had a whole bunch of people, starting off with Noah and Pedro from Adafruit Southeast. They survived the storm, the hurricane, with minimal damage. So that's really great. And they're back at it with another project this week. It's a UV makeup brush cleaner, but also be used for toothbrushes. And they also have a preview of next week's project, which is going to be this glowing toadstool stool. I mean, it's like a stool. It's like a three-legged stool, and it's plastic, glowing, rainbow. It's kind of neat. So that's going to be really fun. And the brush cleaner is going to be this week's project. It's already live, so you can check that out, and they'll be talking about it tomorrow on 3D Hangouts. They're every Thursday 3D printing extravaganza. Scott S. from Adafruit Northwest came by, and he published his first tutorial. I remember my first tutorial. He remembers his first tutorial. Everyone's got their first tutorial.
Yeah.
His is about writing GDB on the SAMD21 processor, and especially the micro trace that's added to the SAMD21 is a Cortex M0 Plus, which has micro trace buffer support. So he added micro trace buffer and how to use that in GDB, so you can, even if you have a hard fault, you can still see what got you there.
Yeah.
So if you're not running Atmel Studio, this is a really good alternative.
Yeah.
You can use GDB. I love GDB.
Yeah. Like what Scott said, he's like, he looked around online, didn't see a resource for this, so now it's in the Adafruit learning system. Yeah.
He wrote his own resource. Okay, so check that out if you're interested in the Cortex M0 and the SAMD21. We love the SAMD21. We're doing so much with it. Also, he previewed, he's working on adding SPI flash support for MicroPython to the SAMD21 as like a mass storage driver, so that we'll be able to have like a perfect MicroPython board, which is something that we're working on a lot. Okay, we also had a whole bunch of people. It's out of order, but that's okay. So Roberto is working on a Borg costume.
Yeah.
It's got EL wire. He's got like LEDs.
Robertus of Borg.
Robertus of Borg. He also made an OpenSCAD Space Invader scene generator, which is a really cute little design.
Yeah.
And he's got like some LED thing as well. You know, I never actually saw any Star Treks with the Borg. I actually have never seen any of the Borg episodes.
Really?
Well, how many were there? Like 3 or 4?
There's more than that. And then there was
them.
Borg where they found like his name was Yu.
I've definitely seen Q episodes, but I just
Yeah.
haven't seen like every Next Generation episode.
And then, anyways, I don't want to get into it.
All right, let's not get into it. Let's not get into it. Stop getting into it. Okay, Andrew entered a contest for Spacetronics, and he built the Zero G200, which is a fitness and IMU tracker for space. And it uses an Arduino 101, which is the Curie Intel processor, which has a 6 DOF in it and Bluetooth cool chip. So check that out. Morgan Stewart is building like a DIY 3D printed Tinker Toys that uses popsicle sticks, and then you can use conductive ink or conductive filament to make like 3D printed structural conductive stuff. Like, it's kind of neat. It's like a big version of like MEMS electronics or something. It's just cool, weird.
Yeah.
Interesting structure. She's always
Morgan of Circuit Playground Yo-Yo fame.
Yeah, that yo-yo is
it's
pretty sweet. So when she shows up, you always know that like she's about to like drop an album or something.
Yeah.
Drop some 3D printed action. Byron Blank came back to show off his Bluetooth audio pumpkin, which has a gigantic speaker, and the pumpkin sits on top. So it actually kind of acts as like a speaker cavity. And it uses our 20-watt amplifier, and it's very spooky, and he controls the audio with his phone, and it's loud and spooky. Very spooky. Lots of pumpkins.
Yeah.
Simon Fontana built and showed off his Overwatch Lucio gun. It's a gigantic gun, like really big 3D print, and he said he just published it. He got 24,000 views already, and he's got a Patreon, so check it out. I think if you donate, he'll even send you a model. And it's got speakers and everything, and he can play audio through his phone. So it's a pretty sweet prop. So check that out. Like, really, it's like real size. It's like gigantic. Must have been multiple parts and glued together, because there's no 3D printer that's as big as this prop. And then Simone Spring, it showed off a Kickstarter that she and her partner are working on. It's an Oozebox DTV. So it's an Oozebox that's built into a game controller, which I vaguely remember. Maybe she built it a while ago, because I remember this as a project, but now it's a Kickstarter.
People can make their own games.
Yeah, so you can build your own games. It's on the Atmega 644 overclocked. We sell the kit, but this one is in the game controller.
Yeah.
So it's really cute. And then Dario showed off his high school final project, which used 4 lamps. He recycled some IKEA lamps and built so this NeoPixel Jewel plus Pro Trinket plus LiPoly battery, and there's like an NRF 2401 mesh network that combines them. So a very cool.
Yeah, and the NeoPixel jewels fit right into this European standard for these bulbs.
Yeah, the little halogen bulbs, because they're round, so the little mini bulbs, they fit right in. I love those little bulbs, and you can get like glasses to cover them. And then finally, C. Scott is showing off his winter project, which is a Seaberg 1950s jukebox. It's an all-mechanical jukebox with a pentode amplifier for the audio part, and he's going to try to resuscitate this beast, and it looks really cool. So check that out. Come in every week and watch the show and tell, because you're going to watch him basically fix up this cool tube amp.
And with C. Scott, you get more than just watching the physical project. You get a lot of history, and he also showed some of these old Popular Mechanic books.
Yeah,
and
cool.
Since he kept them, he still has the ability to see how to fix some of this stuff. Really neat. It's like a history lesson wrapped up into electronics. I really like that.
He always is a little bit of like modern history, and he shows like the so he might be even like making his own PCB to fit these pentodes, or are the tubes still good? He's going to have to build a tube tester.
Make a better power supply.
Yeah, well, he has that power supply that doesn't suck.
All right.
Maybe that'll make a showing.
All participants on the Show and Tell get as seen on the Show and Tell sticker. Please email support@adafruit.com, and we'll show you one, and stop by 7:30 on Wednesday. And if it's full, come back.
I like that we had a lot of new people, a lot of not as common people coming in. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's a salad.
Yeah.
Joyful.
There's so many people that we haven't met yet.
It's true.
That's a mind bender.
Wow.
Yeah. There's more people you don't know than you do know. Okay. Speaking of folks we know, Tony D had a video. I think he's launching one on Friday, but the latest one was MicroPython on the ESP8266 SSD 1306 OLED usage with Tony D.
That's our OLED Featherwing.
Yeah.
So that works with MicroPython on the ESP8266.
Yeah, and we're about to have more MicroPython stuff out. So if you've been watching some of these things, hardware and software and some stuff for people to play with really soon, and those guides that, of course, that are up there. We'll get back on the Desk of Lady Ada tip soon.
Well, it was really
it was Desk
nice
of Lady
out.
Ada at Desk of Lady Ada. Well, we had
nice out.
guests and Maker Faire, so and a lot of the people that we imagine that's watching Desk of Lady Ada are a lot of the people we work with. So they were here, so we didn't have to do a Desk of Lady Ada, but now we'll get back to it.
But now, as it's colder and darker. Like we're going to do less outdoorsy stuff, and we're probably also concert season's ending, so we're probably going to get back. I have a lot of boards and designs that I want to catch up on. So we'll get back. I remember for a while that we were doing 3 episodes a week. So we'll get back into at least
and
one.
We're planning out 2017 with some more video stuff too. So, okay. Next packet. So these are the letters that y'all send in via email or more. And we read these to the entire company every week at our weekly meeting called State of the Fruit. We have other meetings, but this is just one of them. And this one came in from Marcus. Just wanted to say you guys rock. I love Adafruit and the products that you guys offer. I'm looking forward to the heart rate belt and receiver. I have a really cool project that I want to do with it. And the NeoPixels are also a wonderful, cool thing. Thanks, Marcus.
Thanks, Marcus.
Okay. Moving right along. Time travel. So, there's a time travel series that just came out, and it's okay.
Which one?
It's called like Timeline or something, and they have this time machine.
Yeah. Do mistakes happen? Do they accidentally
they go back and like the Hindenburg really didn't blow up, and
turns out it was.
And like it has like a Elon Musk style character, and he built this time machine, and then people are going back. Anyways, but we have a different thing that we do here.
Yeah, what was that?
Yeah, well, I can't help but watch time travel.
I know you love time travel movies, films.
But it's always upsetting. It's just like it's like monster movies.
Is
like,
Dune a time travel book?
Kind of,
a
sort
little
of,
bit.
Anyways, so for this month we have a bunch of stuff going on the Adafruit site and in the world. So I thought we would just, because we had 2 weeks of guests, I thought I'd show some of the things that are going on the site. So right now on the site, you'll notice the little Adafruit logo up the top. It's pink. This is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This is one of the things that we do to help get the word out. It was Manufacturing Day. That was last week. It's Halloween time, so you'll see a bunch of things going on the site. And then
wait, is that Adabot dressed as like Batman? What's going on there?
It's
unclear.
Yeah, it's robots.
Oh no, it's just like a
Up
pirate.
Yeah, it's like a little bat costume.
And
then Ada Lovelace Day was yesterday. That's one of our favorite, which I guess might be a holiday one day. And it was celebrating women in tech all around the world. So if you go on our site and search for ALD, you can see all the Ada Lovelace Day posts. We do 24 every hour, one post about a woman in tech that's doing something really neat. And we also have our staff photo of just some of the women who work at Adafruit. The way timing works out, it's never everybody at the same time. So we just say, well, we'll just take a photo, whatever.
We try to get as many as possible.
Yeah. So thank you everyone who works at Adafruit to make it such a cool company. And instead of just talking about them, you can see some of them.
Wow.
So yeah, this is our Ada Lovelace Day photo. We just took this, I think, like a week or so ago. And we do this every year, so you can look on our Flickr.
Shatima tried to hide, but you can see her.
Yeah, everyone tries to. Some people are camera shy, some people aren't. But anyways, that's just a little glimpse of us. This is on our manufacturing floor. And thank you everyone out there who makes Adafruit a great place and works here with us. So that's our Ada Lovelace Day celebrations. And if you're wondering where all these women who do cool tech stuff is, look on our site, because I think we do a pretty good job getting the word out for some folks that maybe aren't in the spotlight. Mm-hmm. We have that monthly We Are What We Celebrate when we go to the bookstore and we take a picture of like what the magazine covers are celebrating, and things have changed a little bit, but still for the most part you don't see as many women in tech on covers of magazines, on blog pages featured. If you start doing this, it's a lot easier later. to celebrate everyone if you make sure you're not missing out on anyone from the start. So speaking of things that we're working on, doing, Lady Ada, we're back to the Adafruit learning system.
Yay!
What is new this week on the learning system?
Yeah, can you make it big because I don't remember?
Yeah.
Okay, so we had the 3D printed glowing mace. That was 2 weeks ago's project, I think. And then we had the Circuit Playground, DJ Pizza Box Control. That's John Park's project. He's released just before Maker Faire. But we didn't, I don't know if we got to chat about it. Oh, we did get to chat about it. So those two we actually did chat about 2 weeks ago. We have a couple new park tutorials. Okay, so we did the Adafruit Max 31856 Universal Thermocouple Amplifier. I think the guide maybe came after the product came out, I don't remember, but this is a universal thermocouple driver. So if you have K-type thermocouples, we have a thermocouple driver for you, but if you want to measure temperatures using a J-type or a T-type or Q-type, whatever type thermocouple, we have a universal amplifier now that can pretty much use any thermocouple in existence. So it's kind of handy. It's a little bit more expensive, but again, it's much more flexible. And then we also have a couple Circuit Playground projects. So the Dear Diary Alarm, this is by Carter Nelson, who's showed up on the show and tell and showed off some really cool projects. And then we're like, hey, do you want to do a Circuit Playground project? So this is a Dear Diary Alarm. And what I really like about his guides is he uses Circuit Playground in a really, it's like he uses all the Circuit Playground to show projects that don't require any soldering but have actually a lot of complex electronics going on. So this is a sensor that uses the light sensor. It's a sensor project. And you arm it by pressing a button, and then you can put like your diary, or you can put it in your, if you have like a secret box or something. And then when it detects light, you know, if you see the light passes by a threshold, it'll start beeping really loud. So this is kind of a light alarm detector. So it's kind of a cool project. Maybe you can put it in a fridge and really spook somebody so they open the door and it starts screaming at them. But he kind of goes through how the project is done and explaining how a sensor works and how you can measure it with the serial console, and then how to set a threshold. So that's a really cool project, so check that out. Then that 3D printed project from next week, I talked about the UV makeup brush or toothbrush cleaner. Very handy project. It was a request, I think, by Pedro's partner in crime. And then debugging the SAMD21, talked about that. That's Scott's project. If you're interested in using GDB with the SAMD21 processor, you will find this guide extremely handy. And then Michael Barella did a really interesting Circuit Playground robot.
That's super cute.
Yeah, so he made this robot, but then he kind of took it a little farther. Not only is it a robot that, you know, drives around and it has googly eyes, but then he uses second Circuit Playground, and the piezo, the buzzer, the different tones that it makes controls the first one. The first one, it uses the robot has the microphone on, and it listens for tones, and that tells it how to control. So it doesn't have remote control, but it uses sound as a remote control, just like the original clickers for TVs. So that's the guide so far. So a couple Circuit Playground guides. Okay. A couple new ones.
Yeah.
So
we're up to 1,078 guides right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Some open source.
How many do you think we're gonna have by the end of the year?
End of the year, probably like 11, 20.
I think 11, 20.
Yeah.
All right, another 50.
Like that. So open source hardware news using the new logo. We're a supporter, and there are some folks from Adafruit at the Oshawa event. They have the new open source hardware certification. It's all optional, of course. But if you're interested, there's a bunch of companies that have committed, we're one of them, to doing at least a board or a project or something that uses a certification. You can see it. It's really a lot of self-certification, but a lot of smarts went into this. So do check it out if you're interested in saying, this is open source hardware, here's all the things, here's the expectations. This is a way to do it. So the gear logo, the community logo, that wasn't anything that was a trademark that was protectable. So the Oshawa folks now have something where at least there's guidelines, and if you want to use something like this, just follow something like
And I think it's for them a little bit of an experiment. I mean, they are interested in seeing how to help avoid, you know, license fights and instead talk about community norms and expectations. So when you certify something, basically you're just setting up the expectations of what you're releasing. And so that'll be interesting. I think there's a little bit of, you know, this is with open source software as well. People will release files, but they maybe don't release it under an open, like a true OSI license, or they release, I see sometimes, you know, oh, it's open source hardware, but then it turns out the board file is not the firmware of the chip. So like,
Yeah.
and it causes miscommunication.
And sometimes
confusion.
it's not the maker's fault. They'll have
Sometimes, yeah.
they'll have to sign an NDA for this cellular chip or something, and the software on it they don't have. The rest of the product is open source. So this will help clarify for the people who want to do that. So we're going to have some of our products under this just to see what the response is to.
Yeah.
So I mean, we put it's Open Source Hardware Month, so we're doing a documentation day with Michael Weinberg and the Oshawa folks in New York, and then we're also we made sure that pretty much all of our fritzing files, code files, board files are up on GitHub. You can check that out. That was a big project. So we wanted to kind of we
have 6 more to go.
Yeah, we have just a few more to go. But if you notice, there's now hundreds of fritzing diagrams.
Yeah, we have 350 fritzing diagrams and up to almost 800 GitHub repositories, because I've gone through and all of the PCB files that didn't have. Some of them were they were zip files, and some of them were attached to the tutorial or the product page, and there were a couple things that were still on SourceForge. So getting those all onto GitHub and just getting it.
Yeah,
normalized.
And if y'all like open source, we're an example that it can work. It's not saying it will work. Pick up some kits, our electronics and more. Infinity Shred is the code. And speaking of, just to show that you can be an open source company and you can still make it in this incredibly complicated, challenging world at the moment. Congratulations, everyone at Adafruit, and I think all open source companies, because you can say this is we're all doing this together. Cranes ranks companies in New York, so Adafruit is number 29 out of 50 of New York's fastest growing companies.
Yay.
And you were in the top, and I say you because this was women owned. There's an additional listing, top and fastest growing women owned companies in New York. So you hit 2 lists, top 50 and top 25.
Okay.
So it's possible to be an open source company and have good values and be a good business.
And be in Manhattan.
I
mean, it's, I like playing on extra hard.
Yeah. So
what was it when you played Doom? It was I like to bleed.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah.
So
that's the level I like to play at.
Yeah. So at this point, I think if you're ever thinking of doing open source, there is a way to make it work. It doesn't mean our way is the only way, but we're selling products. We have open source. We do tutorials. We do videos.
Give it all away.
We treat our folks as family. I mean, it's the closest way to describe it. And it seems to work out. We're over 100 people. And so thanks for the recognition. Cranes, we're getting a lot of sales calls now, though. That's the only thing. Because you have to...
No, we totally got sold out.
Yeah, so we're getting... Yeah.
I got one of those, do you want this in a plaque?
Yeah.
6, 7 plaque.
Well, a lot of it's hey, you're a top company. Do you want to use NetSuite? And no, I don't use NetSuite. So anyways, that was our news. Okay.
Funny.
3D printing. We have some videos that we're catching up on this week. Noah and Pedro have their show tomorrow. So first up is the brush cleaner video.
All right.
Let's watch it.
Brush, brush, brush. Clean, clean.
In this project, we'll show you how to make a UV LED brush cleaner with a simple circuit and 3D printing. The UV LEDs will actually sterilize and disinfect the bristles, preventing any potential breakouts. The enclosure can hold up to 9 different brushes, and it can dry them with a small fan. This attachment was 3D printed in NinjaFlex, and it can hold double-ended brushes so they won't fray the bristles. The attachment fits right on top of the enclosure, and it's pretty easy to remove. It can also hold different sized brushes, or several brushes depending on their diameter. A small fan will lightly dry the bristles if they're damp, while the vents on the outside of the enclosure will allow air to flow through the inside. So to build this project, you'll need a few parts, all of which you can find listed in the tutorial linked below. The 3D printed parts are fairly large, but you can easily cut them up to fit your printer's build volume. The brush attachment was dual extruded, but you could easily print them in 2 separate pieces. We 3D printed the enclosure on the Sigma 3D printer from BCN 3D using regular PLA material. We were able to cut the print time in half by using a 0.6mm nozzle. The top cover requires a bit of support material to properly print the inset opening, which holds the brush attachment. But it's easy to remove the support material with a pair of flat pliers. The brush attachment has some tight tolerances, so it'll just snap into place. To make our LED circuit, we used a half-size Adafruit PermaProto breadboard. The UV LEDs are evenly spaced out, and each LED requires a current limiting resistor of 100 ohms. Be sure to check out our circuit diagram and follow along with the full tutorial. We'll have it linked in the description. We'll solder all of the components in place and trim the excess leads short. A pair of wires will connect the cathode and anode of the LED to the power rails along the side of the breadboard. Then we'll repeat the process for all 15 UV LEDs. Next, we can work on the Adafruit Power Boost. We'll need to connect the PermaProto to the 5 volts and ground pins, then the fan to the remaining power and ground. Then we can test the circuit by providing 5 volts through the micro USB port on the Adafruit Power Boost. With our circuit done, we can secure the breadboard to the bottom cover of the enclosure using 2 machine screws. Then another set for the Adafruit Power Boost. We mounted the fan to the inside of the enclosure with 4 sets of nuts and screws. Once our components are mounted, we can assemble the bottom cover to the enclosure and plug in the micro USB cable to the Power Boost. The top cover simply fits over the enclosure, and that's pretty much it. This USB cable has a built-in power switch, which makes it easy to power on and off. The overall size of this project is pretty compact, so it'll fit right on your desk and it won't take a lot of space. So if you're looking for a way to clean and store your brushes, be sure to check out this project. And thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more 3D printing projects from Adafruit.
Okay,
Hi.
And we also have the BioShock time-lapse. Okay, and
I remember that. That was a cool project.
Yeah, and we also have 2 more videos. The first one is another time lapse.
Okay.
And then we'll show you the next one. Okay, and then this is
Gotta catch up.
yeah, this is a special treat. So when the team was visiting
For Maker Faire.
Adafruit New York here,
Yeah.
some of them went on some adventures.
Ooh.
And here is a store tour of the DJI store. It's only a minute and a half. So
Adventures.
DJI being pretty much one of the biggest drone makers on planet Earth for hobbyists and more right now. So here is a store tour of, I guess it's a pop-up store. It's probably going to be permanent in New York.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to do all this holiday season.
Yeah.
All right, check it out.
Okay. All right. So that's the DJI store. So maybe
Looks
we'll
like
check
in
that out
Midtown,
later.
yeah.
Maybe we'll check
This is
that
a
out
good
later.
place for it.
Okay. Before we go into new product, the code is Infinity Shred, 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to
Oh, is it
159.
my time soon?
It is your time.
Yay!
Here it is.
New. I've been waiting to new, and
All right.
now it's time to new. Well, we have a couple news.
Okay. Let's jump right in.
Jump in to
Okay.
the new. Okay, so first up we have a panel mount micro USB cable. So can you go to the third photo? 'Cause that's actually the photo. Yeah, so it's a panel mount cable, but it's micro USB to micro USB. We had one that was micro USB to like printer A type, but like that's actually not as handy because most things are micro USB these days. So this is basically like a 1 foot extension cord, a very not great extension cord, or better yet, it's panel mountable. So you can use this to secure to an enclosure, so you can have like a Raspberry Pi or your Feather or whatever, your Arduino Zero, and you can have it connectable from outside the box without having to butt it up right against the edge of the box. So very handy, and people demanded this, and so we got some.
Okay. Moving right along.
Okay, so the next set of products are actually kind of related. So we have passive PoE cables that basically just take power and splice them onto the unused 4 wires of an Ethernet cable. But for a lot of people, they actually have true PoE routers. So these are routers that put 48 volts on, like you negotiate with them, they put 48 volts on those pins, and it's like an off-the-shelf formal support. It's like an 802.3 AF, I think, is the standard. So if you do have one of those routers, can you go to the overhead because I'll show off what they look like. And I got one here. Whoa. So this is like a router that's a PoE router, and you can see here it says, you plug in 48 volts. So it's powered by 48 volts, and then this one has 4 PoE ports and then 4 non-PoE ports, and so it can provide power over Ethernet. And what's nice about that is then you have a single cable that goes to your device, and the cable can be 100 feet long, and then this actually splits it off into, this gives you 12 volts at 1 amp, and so you can actually use this to power your electronics. It can be anything really. But what's nice about this is it's true power over Ethernet, not like kind of fake power over Ethernet. So if you have PoE routers, this is what you want to use. If you don't have a PoE router, check out the passive PoE splitter we have, which is honestly good enough for most uses. But this is great for, again, when you have the router itself. And so we have another version too. So this one is, it just splits it from Ethernet plus PoE into data, and then it gives you that nice 12 volt 1 amp plug. So that's really cool. So this is a very simple one. Working on getting a 5 volt one, but the first ones we got were 12 volts. And then, can you skip ahead?
Yeah. So next up.
Okay, so the second version we have is a little bit more advanced. This one you can select a 5, 9, or 12 volts output. So it has a switcher that's more extreme, I guess, or more flexible.
Extreme switching.
Extreme switching. So you switch on the side. Also comes with these little like pluggy plugs, so you can select if you want 2.1 millimeter or 2.5 millimeter. But same theory, it works with a true PoE router, and then you would put the power and data in here, and then you can select 5 volts or 9 volts or 12 volts, and that will power your device. You can be more flexible with this. This is good for almost everything, but it's a little bit more expensive. It's still, handy if you have that IEEE 8023 AF. So pretty cool, pretty handy, and good for those people who are building Ethernet-powered sensor networks, and then you don't have to have PoE support on your device, because like this Ethernet shield doesn't have native PoE, and honestly the cost to add it here would be about the same as just having this plug. So there you go, about $10 more, and you're golden.
All right, next up, LEDs. Yep,
we have some 10 millimeter diffused LEDs. This was by request. We had every other color. I don't have anything against yellow. I just never really cared too much for it, but they are beautiful. They glow. Check them out if you need yellow LEDs. Sell them in a pack of, I think, 25. Ooh, and they're diffused, so they glow nicely.
Okay. I like this photo better.
I know.
All right, next up.
Well, it's against a black back. How can I compete with that?
You cannot compete with that.
I cannot compete with that.
Okay. What's this?
This is, the name of this is the Boost Stick. So this Boost Stick is kind of a neat idea. What I like about it is its simplicity. You put a AA battery in, you plug it into a breadboard, and you're pretty much good to go.
It's like making any breadboard a powered breadboard.
Yeah, and basically you just reverse power. So this Arduino is running, and it's powered from the breadboard. So I can show.
Wow. I feel like these demonstrations and products are connected.
Yes, they are.
All right.
Oh, can you go to the overhead?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is said Boost Stick, and you can select 5 volts or 3 volts, I think, but I like 5 volt power, so I have it with the jumper in place. There's a little LED to let you know, and then all you do is you just you plug this in. So this V plus goes here, and this goes here, and unless I got it backwards. Hold on. There you go. I got it backwards. So you go like this, and then wow, your LED is lit. Oh, you know what? The LED is backwards. So that's why. Hold on. I want to make it match up. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, what's nice about this, what I like is that it's just very simple. You just put the AA in, and you're ready to go. So this can be a nice, you toss it in, you use nickel metal hydride or alkaline batteries, either will work, and it just plugs right in. It's just so simple, and I like that simplicity.
Okay. All right, next up, the Teensies.
Ooh, yeah. So we've got both of the Teensies. Very exciting. This is Paul Stofferson just finished up his Kickstarter. So we ordered some of these, because he always makes such awesome hardware. And so if you like the Teensy 3.2, you're going to love the Teensy 3.5 and 3.6. These use 2 BGA Freescale processors. They're I think they're Cortex M4Fs still, but they have, I think they went 180 megahertz or so. Extremely fast chips with tons of flash, tons of RAM. The 3.6, I believe, is 5 volt compliant for pin input. So if you want to use it with 5 volt logic, which is a little bit weird, but you never know, you can put 5 volt logic into them. I think the 3.6 also has an Ethernet PHY, but I can't quite remember. Check the product page, because one's called 3.5, one's called 3.6, so I can't remember which is which. But they're very advanced, but they're still extremely skinny. They both have micro SD slots on them, and they're supported by Teensy Arduino, and they're very, very powerful. So when you need even more capabilities than the Teensy 3.2, I think this is going to be an interesting upgrade for people. And can you go back? Because this is the routing on this is amazing. So these BGA processors. No, go back one. Yeah. So these use BGA processors. I believe it's a 4-layer board, or it could be a 6-layer board. And he said he was visiting here for Maker Faire. He said he spent weeks working on getting the escaping out to fit a 144 pin or whatever pin BGA onto such a skinny little board and break out it into a breadboard friendly stick is pretty amazing. So check this out. But Paul Stofferton always does such a good job with support and updates and having cool projects that I think that having one of each, there's going to be projects that come out that you want to build. So pretty handy.
Okay. All right. Next up, let's keep moving. We got the Pi starter pack.
Yeah, we actually put this in just after 2 weeks ago, but we never got to it. So this is the official Raspberry Pi starter kit. We've got this nice GIF. It's basically everything you need to get started. It comes with a Raspberry Pi 3, the official Raspberry Pi case, which is so cute and adorable, a universal power supply, so it works anywhere in the world. Comes with a 8 gig noobs card. Comes with a keyboard, comes with a mouse, both of which are beautiful and like white, and I think even have the little Raspberry Pi logo. And then you even get Carrie-Ann's book on how to get started with a Raspberry Pi. So it's really, all you need is, I think it comes with HDMI cable, so you just need an HDMI monitor or TV, and you're pretty much ready to get started with a Raspberry Pi. You even got the book to take you through a bunch of experiences and steps, getting started playing games, writing code, using Sonic Pi. So this is kind of, it's kind of nice. It's very premium. It's very good for gift giving. So I think this is good timing for them.
Okay. And then we have lots of stuff going on this week, but a little bit of history. So
you're going to take us back in time?
A little bit of back in time. So we have really talented people that work at Adafruit. It's just part of our DNA. Lots of artists, lots of musicians, lots of engineers, lots of photographers, lots of videographers. Everything that the team, I think, touches is artistic. So whatever it is they're doing. You
can't help it.
Yeah, whatever it is they're doing, whatever their hobbies is or whatever their other things that they work on are equally as interesting. So the first album that Adafruit helped get out was the music that you hear usually in the beginning of the shows. That's from Bartle Beach. So we did a album called Frequency, and it was a pink vinyl album, and it was our first dipping of toes into competing with Apple.
Right.
Apple has iTunes and millions of
we've
albums.
got records.
Well, we've got 2 now. So we're pleased to announce, starting today, that we're going to be shipping in partnership with Infinity Shred not only an album of theirs, but a special edition, a blue vinyl one, and then also a kit, a synth kit.
Okay.
So this is the second album. Watch out, Tim Cook, coming after you.
We're getting there. We've increased our albums by 300%, 200%.
We've cornered the Brooklyn-based electronic music scene that does albums that work at Adafruit.
Yep.
Well, I mean, we still have
colorful too.
Well, we don't have all the market share for that, but we're getting close. We're getting close. So, anyways, joking aside, it is a neat way for the people who work here who have something that they're really passionate about to even have yet another outlet for that. Mm-hmm. So we do really good shipping, and we can do lots of things to help get the word out. So this is the album. If you like electronic-y, gothy music, you're gonna like this.
Yeah.
It's called Long Distance Infinity Shred, and this is the album Black Vinyl.
Look at that.
And then there's
it can't get any more blacker.
And then there's a limited edition Adafruit one with blue. We have a special section on our site. There'll be a quiz later, but it's adafruit.com/infinity shred. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
And then we also have a synth kit that you can purchase along with it. And you'll be able to hear some of that in just a few moments.
Yeah, this is based off of the Shruti one, which is an open source synthesizer. And this is a version that Infinity Shred, they kitted it themselves. They documented how to build it. And it's a pretty cool kit. We have a couple of them. It's very limited edition. Mm-hmm. Once they're gone, they're gone. But it's a really great synth. It's a really fun kit to build. This is like our second synthesizer kit. So
yeah, and I have Periscope going on right now, but I'm also going to try to show via this camera over here too.
Okay.
Some of the sounds of this.
So you want me to play?
Yeah.
I have no knowledge of how to play.
You just need to make electronics. You don't have to be a musician.
Okay. No, that's definitely not my skill.
Yeah. You just keep making electronics.
Okay,
That's your job.
Okay.
It's good.
Okay, all good?
Yeah, and so when you start to play...
So this, so the synthesizer, we have, we're using, it has a MIDI input, so it's got a little MIDI keyboard, a micro keyboard plugged in, and then the audio is coming right out. It's got this really cool iridescent.
So we wanted to set it up so the Wirecast or the YouTube and Switch hook, so you can hear that. You can keep that in your ear. And then if you go through these, you can, So that's Lady Ada playing it right now. And,
very badly. So yeah, there's
see.
like 15 patches, I think, and then knobs, and then there's a really great LCD that gives you details on like all your settings.
Yeah.
I actually really like the little note that appears when you play.
I think it was. I did like 6.
Yeah. Wasn't
Yeah.
it jealousy?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so that's the live demo of all this. Just so you can listen to what it sounds
And
like.
it's got the same patches that they're using on the album, so you can cosplay as your favorite Infinity Shred musician.
Yeah.
And it comes as a kit, but it's a fun kit. Just needs some through-hole soldering experience. I think it could probably be a beginner kit or maybe your second kit. Maybe like start with a TV Gun or a Minty Boost, just so you know how to solder a little bit. And then there's 2 boards, an audio board and a control board. And we have the tutorial up on the learning system.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay. So
Back into the synth game.
Yeah, we're back. So that is new products, Lady Ada.
Wow.
You did it.
Yay! Okay, cool. We have time for questions and trivias. And
Yeah, we still have time for that.
Yay!
Okay, that was perfect time. So I
Okay.
did a little bit of
So
periscoping.
you caught up in like
this
2 weeks worth of stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Okay. The code Infinity Shred 10% off, all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern time tonight.
Yep.
That's how long that code will last.
Yes.
Okay. And let's do some questions.
I'm ready.
All right. Post your questions up in the chat. We'll get to them the best we can.
Yeah.
And
It's your time
yeah.
to ask questions.
Okay. ETA on the ESP32 boards.
Totally outside of my control. Whenever we have them on order, whenever we get them, we put them in and notify, the top end people. So put yourself on the list. There is going to be limited numbers probably until around the Christmas time when I think they'll actually have more chips, but we have no serious quantities available yet.
Okay. Let me go through these. Do you recall how much the Raspberry Pi starter pack was?
I don't remember the price. I think it was like $130.
Okay.
But I don't remember.
What chip does the new Teensies use?
Oh, goodness. The Teensy 3.6 uses the Freescale MK66FX1M0. And then I don't have the 3.5 here because I think we gave it away, so I don't recall. But it's a similar chip. Check the product pages. I don't remember the chip offhand.
Okay. Someone had more of a make-read business question. I don't know the answer, but I can speculate a little bit. How can it be profitable to have a spacious drone shop in New York City? It probably isn't. It's probably
not that spacious.
Yeah. Well, it also probably isn't. It's probably this flagship store just so they can. A lot of people will see it then order stuff online anyways.
But they still get the sale.
Yeah, a lot of companies do that. They have their New York experience where they can show everything. Also, they'll do press days. There's lots of other ways. Yeah.
They're a nearly $1 billion company, so they can afford. I mean, that store, it looked like it was like one of those midtown shops. It's not that big. It's like 2,000 square feet maybe at the most. And just to get people to go in and look at all the models and like get to feel them.
It's probably just a marketing runoff.
It's probably a marketing runoff, yeah.
Next up, I'm using your Adafruit Max 98357 I2S Class D. Is it I2C or I2S?
Yeah.
I2S Class D mono amp. In my project, I'm wondering how to use the gain setting.
The gain setting is done by adding a resistor or tying the gain pin high or low, but I don't remember offhand which it is. So you can check the data sheet. What we did is we set the gain, I think, to like 24 dB, but then by adding a resistor, I think yeah, you add a resistor or you tie the gain pin high or low, you can change the default gain. But of course, in I2S, it's 24-bit audio, so you can change the gain at the host level as well, which is what we really recommend. Like if you're using it with a Raspberry Pi, you just set the gain, get the audio volume on the Pi.
Can I control 2 servos in a series of NeoPixels with the Feather M0 and power the servo separately with a 3.7 volt battery without the need of a servo featherwing?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, most servos are okay with 3.7 volts is pretty low for a servo. They really do want to be driven at 5 volts, but then you can use a logic level from the M0. And I don't remember which pins are, or I think all of them have servo support, but I think servo is a library that's added to, that's supported natively by the Arduino IDE. So whatever pins they say you can use, and then NeoPixel works on any pin.
Okay, ever thought of making a Feather 9DOF motion board or perhaps a wing to stack on top of a Feather? Seems like an excellent platform to do it with it being wireless.
Yeah, we are working on that. We if you've noticed on our GitHub, we're working on our AHRS code. We want to get a good, stable... The thing is that we wanted to use the BNO055. The BNO055 is a little expensive. It's good, but it's a little bit expensive, and it has the issue of it uses clock stretching, so it's not always supported, and it sometimes crashes, so it's not universally supported. So we wanted to go with an I2C sensor and then use AHRS, which would make it a lot less expensive. Maybe have 2 options. It's a lot of decisions to be made.
Okay.
Do it in-house or do it out-house. Yeah.
Do you know where someone could buy an ESP WROM32 board?
Can't buy them. They don't exist yet.
Any plans to update the Ada graphics library to support the Arduino 101?
Unlikely, because I think the Arduino 101... I think there's something weird about the GPIO, so I don't know if it will. I mean, you can look and see what patch. I don't even have an Arduino 101. Honestly, I'm not supporting it because it's a very rarely used Arduino. But if somebody submits a pull request, I'll check it out. It's probably something to do with the pointer size or something with a compiler that's unusual.
Okay. What do you think of the recent Arduino news? To catch everyone up, at Maker Faire, it was announced that Arduino.cc and Arduino.org are going to settle. In other words, they're not going to be in court fighting each other.
It's good they're not in court fighting each other.
And that is the best outcome, even though it's probably personally hard for both sides of any argument that went to court, and lots of personal emotions for years, because you draw lines in the sand and you're like, we're fighting until the end. Ideally, a settlement would always be possible and people could reconcile. And our goal was to keep Arduino going while Arduino was either going to win, lose, or settle. And settlement is best because you don't want to have open source community fractured with just people not liking each other. If the leaders of these 2 organizations can settle, then it's possible for pretty much everyone to go back to making hardware and software. So. We don't have an official statement or anything, but we're glad to see that there's going to be some closure, and lots of people under the name Arduino working together is better than lots of different people working on different things, also called Arduino.
Yeah.
So okay. Next up.
We know about as much as you guys do. Though. We don't have any insights to this.
Is there a new Raspberry Pi update? Maybe there is.
I know that they recently put out a new Raspbian with the Pixel, the new graphics interface called Pixel, but there's no new Raspberry Pis I know of.
Yeah.
Not to say they aren't working on one they haven't told me. They tend to do that.
Future of Feather M0?
What do you mean the future? It exists. I mean,
The future is here.
Has a future, I guess.
Favorite Star Trek series? That's tough because there's lots of elements of lots of different ones.
Yeah.
But there's just lots of different elements of different
You
ones.
like them all. I don't have a favorite.
Yeah.
To me, they're all
the idea that you can tell future stories with moral lessons, I think, is really powerful, and I think that's what Gene Roddenberry did, and I think that's needed at all times. Get people interested in science and teach them with great power, great responsibility. With great phasers comes great phaser banks.
The most I've seen is Next Generation.
Yeah.
But that's because it just...
Yeah.
There's so many of them.
Okay. Can I work for Adafruit? Yeah, do learning guides on Instructables or Hackster or Hackaday.io and send them to us. That's how we find lots of cool people to work with. Where can I get the album and the synth? That's on Adafruit.com. So it's Infinity Shred. Looking for a display that works with the mini computer monitor. It has this little electrical noise. Wonder what are my best options. Little display.
No idea.
Yeah, we get like a VGA converter or something.
We have a HDMI monitor. But
Yeah. Okay.
We don't 60 hertz.
How to put ROMs on the RetroPie? I think we have a guide.
Yeah, we don't support RetroPie, so check out RetroPie's. We use it, but we don't. They have tutorials and guides on how to use it.
Okay. Ever heard of an FTI erroring when uploading a certain sketch or pro trinket, but USB worked fine? Shouldn't it be identical?
Electronics, man.
Okay. Next up, what MQT broker do we use, or how was Adafruit IO developed?
I don't remember what the broker was.
I think it's on our blog. We can.
Oh yeah, I just don't remember it. It was Yeah, I can't remember the name of the broker. It's heavily modified, but check the Adafruit IO blog. I think they mentioned which broker they used in the end. Because we tried like 4 or 5 different ones.
Okay, it's 9 on the dot. If so I'm gonna give away. We're gonna give away one of the blue Infinity Shred albums. Yeah, do you want to get it?
I'm getting it right now.
Okay. All right, trivia question. What are the rules, Ada?
Wait, hold on. The rules you have to wait for me to get the album. Which one is it?
The black one.
This one is, yeah, got it.
Okay.
Okay, rules are you can only win once per lifetime. Please don't cheat or enter or try to win again.
No one's going to be mean.
And don't be mean to us about if you don't win. So the prize is this beautiful translucent blue, a limited edition album by Infinity Shred. So hopefully if you enter this contest, you have a desire for a vinyl album because it's not electronics, but it sounds like electronics. Oh, and there's you get another thing too. It comes with a thing. I don't know what it is though. It's a mystery.
Okay.
So you get a thing and the album, and the first person to enter in the correct solution to Phil's trivia question on any of the chats wins.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
All right, if you go to adafruit.com/infinity shred, look at the page, scroll down to the bottom, cut and paste the members of the band in the chat.
Who are the
There's 3 of them.
Cool people.
Yeah.
The names of the cool people who are in
That's all you got to do.
This band.
adafruit.com/infinity shred. Look at the cool images and more. Look at their names.
Copy,
paste.
You don't have to paste it, but it's longer to type. I would suggest copy and paste.
I think you should copy and paste.
I think you should copy and paste.
It's not 42. It's not Tony DeCola, although not a bad guess.
Moonlight's also is a synthesizer.
Amelia Earhart. All right, Ryan Lee. Oh wait, sorry, no. It's all coming in.
No, wait, hold on.
Wait.
This one.
Andrew Denio. Yeah. Andrew Denio. It was down to the wire.
Well, also this person has 3 extra people without an extra person that wasn't actually in there.
Yeah.
I don't know who
So
George
congratulations, Andrew Denio. You cut and paste faster than pretty much everybody else.
Good work. You have.
All right, Andrew. Email support@adafruit.com, and you're going to get one of these albums. If you want to help us out, it's PID 3278.
Yes. Congratulations for using copy and paste correctly.
And
fastly. I don't know. That's not coming either.
Oh yeah, you can hear it. They can hear it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is a lot of
I
fun.
can't hear it, but you can hear it.
Yeah.
Yes. Control C, Control V. Good work. Nice.
All right. So that's our show for the night,
Okay, and that
folks.
was our song.
Yeah, and thank you so much. Thank you all the
Brought to you by
folks at Adafruit here and beyond that help us every single week. Thank you so much for that. And thanks y'all. Don't forget the code is Infinity Shred, 10% off in the Adafruit store to 11:59 p.m. Gotta love political season here. And I can't wait till the election is over, or maybe not. I don't know. Everyone's crazy. Anyways, we're gonna play out tonight with a video from Infinity Shred.
Yeah.
Here is a cat.
Meow.
And here is your Zener.
Meow.
Zeners don't make meow. And then here is your music video. All right.